2, 1. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the Corridor Cast. We got Matt on the show with us today. Also, we got Sam and myself, Wren, here. We got a good day for you guys. What are we going to be talking about today?
Well, we got a bunch of fun topics that we can talk about. Also, we have a bunch of fun topics that we can't talk about.
That's right. Oh my God, just straight up out of the gate saying we can't talk about some things.
We're going to be thinking about them in our minds.
We can't talk about. That's right. Even we have secrets. The point is, big news. Inspiration Tab video dropped.
Yeah.
So, also the Earthquake video, but let's kick it off with the Inspiration Tab one because there's some funny stuff, I think, that we can maybe talk about here.
Yeah, so the Inspiration Tab video just came out a couple days ago, and basically the idea behind it is that YouTube now has an actual feature that is able to take your channel, analyze the content of it.
Analyze the quote-unquote the content. Yeah.
Eliminate.
Yeah, and then basically, comes up with titles, thumbnails, outlines.
It generates ideas.
Which is so funny because, you know, if you've seen the video, you know, but if even still, like, I am just so massively unimpressed with what they're generating. Like, I feel like if you were to just go to someone's YouTube channel, select, copy, paste, just like whatever garbage you could send that like to ChatGPT or something and have it give somewhat better results. But like, it just felt so off base. It feels so like it's clearly designed for one person, like Linus or a creator in that vein, so to speak.
I was going to say, that is the one, play devil's advocate here, like that, a channel like Linus Tech Tips that has so many videos, so much content to pull from and analyze, that seems to work.
Well, it's funny because it's like, it's in a way, I feel like they probably based, like, you can only train it, so quote unquote train it on so many channels. But if you're going to do it on some channels, it's probably going to be his. You know, he's going to be in that pool of people. It's like, I would imagine it's probably going to be like Rhett and Link, which I did reach out to those guys. They're just swamped to talk, but I feel like their Inspiration Tabs could probably look like what we're getting. It's them, Linus. Obviously, you have your Mr. Beasts of the world.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword though, because it's like those are the creators that need it the least. You know? Yeah, it's the smaller creators that I think could benefit more from that.
I have a weird, like, complicated perspective on it because it's like, on the one hand, I'm not going to actually straight up take any of the ideas as listed by that sort of product, right? But I'm also not going to just arbitrarily turn away any idea. Yeah. So some of those ideas in there's like a seed of something to them. And it's like, the way I see the Inspiration Tab is literally just as inspiration.
Yeah.
If it poses something, even in the video you're talking about with like your interview with Joel, for instance, like there were a couple ideas that I was like, wait, that could lead to this thing that actually could be a pretty good idea.
Sure.
Yeah.
I like taking inspiration from anywhere and everywhere that pops up. And so I don't know.
You know what? So I think this is really what this whole opinion / video / everything, like what it really comes down to, because like they can, in a way, it all can be correct in the sense that, like, yes, you can obviously take inspiration from anywhere, and even though this thing is generating bad ideas, theoretically you can kind of still generate some inspiration, despite how ineffective it is at actually coming up with ideas. But I think
ineffective.
Well, no, it is. But I think it's a little bit of just like the optics of the situation too, and how it's being presented. And I think that's like the true problem with it, because, you know, imagine it gets improved. Imagine they tweak it. In fact, since our video came out, they have made some tweaks to it, I've seen. But it's like, it's really just this idea of like the way it's being, I guess, just like given to you, it's kind of with the expectation that it's actually coming up with the video ideas, hence the thumbnail, title, outline.
Sure.
You know, and you're sitting there going like, wait a second, like, is this inspiration, or is this just YouTube generating videos for you to make?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because right now it's the latter. The way it's working, it's basically YouTube saying, here's the videos we think you should be making right now.
Yeah, and I guess that's where I'm coming from, is because I'm just automatically being like, no, I'm good. But I'm going to read it and see what it can do.
Exactly.
And then maybe I'll take an ounce of that idea and do something with it. But you're right. It's like, it'll generate the thumbnail, generate some title ideas, generate an outline for what the video could be. And I guess just the implied expectation, like you're saying, is like, all right, I will now do this, and then that will all be all I do.
Yeah, it's like to be honest, I mean, just like to work backwards, like the outline section is absolute dog shit. So like, when it comes to quote unquote inspiration and being inspired, the fact that they include an outline section, that's where it gets to the insulting part, where you're like, okay, hold on, you're really expecting me to read this crappy outline? Like, first off, the outline's probably the worst part of the whole feature right now, because they're just basically saying like, oh, just research the topic we gave you and make a video about it. You know, like that's effectively what each outline basically says. There's like no information there. It's just, you know, they're basically saying, ask ChatGPT to finish the script.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've had a similar sort of experience trying to use ChatGPT to help write videos.
Oh, sure.
And it's like, because I'll use ChatGPT a lot in the making of a video, but never in actually like trying to write something. And it's because it never gets it. I'm like, all right, I'm trying to make a YouTube video. It's like, all right, I got you. And it's like, it starts making an outline and doing all this stuff, putting like classic YouTuber-y speech in there. And I'm like, no, this is not what I wanted.
Exactly.
Why are you doing this?
Those tools only work when you're already like 80 to 90% of the way complete, basically. You know, you need to be basically done.
Or at the 10% mark, and you just want to get blasted with a bunch of different options.
I mean, sure, you can use that too, but like I've personally only had like success when you're at the whole like, all right, here's something that's basically complete, or even if it's messy, has all the things I need in a very literal form. Not like, oh, I don't know what to do here. It's like, no, here's basically the finished thing. It's just messy and incomplete.
Sure.
And then you're like, okay, just format this crap, you know, and it goes through, formats it, goes, whoops, there's a problem, a little thing you maybe could, here's a missing piece, here's just like a placeholder thing to fill it. It's like that, then there we go. That's that works. Like, like all those like Masters and Minion shorts, that's basically what I did for that. Where I basically say all the lines out loud and then basically have this messy transcript, and I just say, you know, here's the characters, figure out which line belongs to each one, and it would do it correctly. You know, and then I'd have a script. So it's like pretty awesome.
And then also, Wren, when you're talking about the 10% right up front, that's also something where I think like maybe if they implemented the inspiration tab for that, where it's like, hey, this is just a seed, a little seed that is planted in your brain. Like this thing can maybe spawn a good idea, but like it shouldn't be taken as this thing where it's like, oh, this is the seed. Oh, here's everything I need to do in the video. Here, let me just grab a camera
I guess
and get started.
Yeah, I guess where I was coming from with the 10% thing was that like I'm already starting with an idea. Like I guess like thinking about the True Scale of Dinosaurs video that I'm currently working on is that we're currently in the research and writing stage on, and it's like, all right, I want to talk about dinosaurs, but like dinosaur, huge topic. Where do I start? And so it's good for just organizing my own thoughts, and then I'll ask it further and further questions to kind of go down various rabbit holes. And it has a history of all those rabbit holes I've gone down, and it can help organize those thoughts. And it starts getting an idea of what I'm trying to go for the more I try to just explore various topics.
Yeah. So it could be advantageous if the AI is already trained on your YouTube channel and all the content that you've done before, and if you input like your seed idea into the inspiration tab, then it gives you a lot of options based on what it knows about your channel.
But I don't think it needs to train on the channel. It's like it's pretty simple input for me. It's like, all right, I'm looking for novelty. I'm looking for fun facts. I'm looking for misconceptions. What are some things that people think they know but don't?
Man, you got to be using that one service that does the actual like citing of sources. What was that one? I forget.
Well, chat will do that.
Interesting.
Well,
I mean, I've been using 03 Mini lately.
Okay.
Or 03. I don't know if it's Mini. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It'll say stuff and then have like a little citation at the end of it that I can open up to a whole like web page. Usually it's a research article or something like that.
Oh, that's nice.
I've been pretty I mean, every year that goes by, I get more and more impressed with it. The first time I tried using it for like doing some of the math on these videos, it would just like spit out absolute garbage. It was like, oh, I can't trust this at all. But then last year it started actually being good at math, and I was like, oh, now I can actually start using this as a tool.
Yeah.
Perplexity. Yeah.
It helped.
One, I think
It helped me a lot at the end of last year during Christmas. I write murder mysteries for my family.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I talked about this, mentioned it at some point, but yeah. So like I trained it on how I structured murder mysteries, and then I gave it the exact story I wanted to tell. And then it did all the hard work of like splitting up the characters and like writing character sheets for everybody, which is an important part of like making like a dinner party murder mystery.
Yeah.
And that's like a bunch of just like it's a labor. It takes a long time to write every character's like motivations and how they're gonna weave through the party and what they're gonna ask and tell. But like having like the structure of the outline together and just like the overall story and then adding characters and filling in the gaps from there is like that's the stuff that really works super well. So I don't know.
It's like basically moral of the story: AI is very good at tedium.
yeah. Which is, I guess,
But just to quickly move on before we talk about anything else, the holy sack. For those of you who are not Quarter Digital subscribers and aren't really familiar with what's going on, 3 or 4 years ago at this point, we got like this shipment of these like stress balls and toys. They're like silicone based. You can stretch them, squeeze them, and all that stuff. Yeah. We have a vlog about this on the website. It might even be on the Guillotine channel now.
It's not one vlog, channel. By the way. It's like 4 or 5.
Well, sure,
it's
but
been
like
a saga.
It was a saga, but basically the point is that like at one point I think Dean was the one who threw it up into the air. It hit the ceiling.
No, it was one of I think it was Jordan. Maybe it was me. We were both like freaking around. There were like 5 or 6 of us that were just throwing these things up onto the ceiling to get them to stick and see how long they would stick for. And then eventually one of them never came down.
But like on like the ceiling, not like on a hook or on a ledge or something. Literally the perfectly upside down flat, just like psh, and it stuck there and it didn't come down for like it started a few minutes. All right, it's been up there a few minutes, and then it was like a few hours, and then the rest of the day. Then it was there the next day. Then it was there the next week.
It was
and
a
the next
sign
month.
of God's existence.
That's right. Yes, and then we formed a religion. We created it was the sacrifice that was made to the to the company.
The sacrifice.
Sacrifice. Yeah. He paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Sacrifice with a K.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
And
lots
then
of
suddenly
sack
it was
puns.
like 3 or 4 years, and it was still up there. But then recently, like a couple weeks ago, it started sagging. And like, cause the silicone, imagine like a deflated balloon, like imagine like a lacrosse ball, but it's like silicone.
Yeah.
So it's like soft to the touch. That outer coating was like starting to crack and it looked brittle and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it was starting to like pull away. And then it got to a point where like a whole circle had fully like ripped out from the thing and was still attached to the ceiling.
Yep.
But the rest of it was just stuck to the internals of it.
Yeah. So
And it was just kind of
It
sitting
was
there
crazy.
for
Like
a
everyone
couple
was
weeks.
so obsessed with this.
And it looked weird because it's like before that
You're
it
very
looked like
obsessed
it
with
was just like the surface area contact was maybe like a tiny little speck was the only contact point. But then when that drooped like that, it was like the size of a penny. Contact point on the ceiling. And I was like,
it's
that looks fishy. I bet it actually fell down over the weekend. And Daniel was in here. He saw that. And he went and glued it back on the ceiling.
Well, that's what a miracle is, Wren. You can't explain it, and some deny what the sack provided for us in this company.
But because I was like, that's not how it was connected. It's clearly more put on the ceiling than it was before. So I remembered I had a 3D scan of the sack on the ceiling. So I opened up the scan. I was looking at it. I was like, actually, you know what? It is about the same. It is about the same size of contact area. So I guess it did just kind of rip around it.
Yeah. So I mean, look. Here's the thing: the sack fell, paid the ultimate price for our sins.
R.I.P. So we came
The
in
ultimate
Monday
sacrifice.
morning after the weekend, and it was sitting there on the ground. You were the first one to see the body?
I did. Yeah, it was the first one.
But if this is like true, then that means won't the sack rise again?
I believe so on the 3rd day.
Well,
so
it'll be risen.
Yeah. So we're
Wouldn't that
waiting
be
for
today?
that.
Yeah.
We're
By the
still
way,
waiting
also
for
I
that.
never really got that part in the Christianity, which was like, so wait, he came back to life. Jesus.
Yeah, but
Jesus
so he
Christ,
did.
He did?
He came,
Jesus Christ.
Remember, like in Easter, he comes out of the cave and he's alive again. He's like, oh, shit. Like,
But he's like the Holy Spirit, though. He's like alive, but not.
But then where did he go? Where did he go?
To heaven.
He just-
He ascended to
He
heaven.
got out of the cave
This sort
and
of
then
thing.
just
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
He just no clipped.
That's the part where they're just like, don't worry about it.
This is honestly something I literally never knew the answer to. I was like,
I was raised Christian, so
thinking about
they don't know the answer either. I'll tell you that.
He ascended.
Yeah,
it's
he
like
ascended.
if you die for your sins, then he came back.
But anyway, we're not talking about Jesus. We're talking about the sack.
Yeah,
and
so
here's
the
the
point
thing,
is
guys.
the sack's going back up.
The point is the sack will rise again.
That's where the conspiracies needs to happen. Everyone's like, he was glued there. It's like, no. The mystery will be, how did the sack rise?
Exactly. How does the sack rise back to the ceiling where it belongs? But yeah, no, that was a huge controversy for many years. We were like, Daniel definitely glued it. Somebody glued it.
Jesus no-clipped through
here's
the
the
cave
thing.
wall.
Yeah. we have a new vlog on corridordigital.com that will be coming out soon at some point, where we have put it under the microscope. We have analyzed the data.
There's no way Daniel did it, because he was traveling, and so he wasn't even in the studio basically when that happened. I don't think
that's true.
He was doing international travel.
Yeah,
not when it. He was still here when it drooped.
He was here when the content started happening.
Sure, but
when it got to the point where it was just hanging like it looked like it had been glued, Daniel was still in town technically.
Okay.
Yeah,
but I reversed my opinion on that when I actually looked at my scan. I was like, okay, no, this.
All I'm saying is, I think we have definitive evidence of we have an answer as to if it was glued or not.
And when you say glued, you're talking about like back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Back in the day.
Oh yeah. Was it glued back in the day, years ago?
Because I was proposing whether or not it was glued like a couple weeks ago.
No.
And it fell secretly and it was re-glued.
No, I don't think so.
Crazy. Sack news.
Sack news.
So also there's a theory on what jump started the sack falling, and it was the earthquake video.
Yeah,
I think maybe that's
definitely sped up the process of it falling away.
It's just purely coincidence. We're not saying there's causality here, but there is coincidence. So Dean and Jalen were on the ceiling.
They were
on the roof,
the ceiling.
They were upside down on the ceiling.
TMI. Watch the vlogs, guys. Just watch the vlog about this.
No.
This segues into the earthquake video.
Yeah, so it's like they were up on the roof filming a Lego video, or filming some stuff for their Lego video, which, subscribe for that. And I'm sitting downstairs, and I'm looking up, and they're like moving around, and I see the fans, like the ceiling fans, kind of moving up and down, like there's an earthquake. And I was like, whoa, that's great. And this is like the final week of editing on the earthquake video, so I take a video of the ceiling fan, and I text the guys. I was like, hey, just jump up and down real quick over at the window. And they did that, and I got the video, and you can clearly see the fan and the whole ceiling just kind of like going up and down. And that made it into the beginning of the earthquake video.
Yeah,
but that wasn't a little bit of, inside baseball on YouTube here. That wasn't actually from the original earthquake, even though it looks like it might have been.
Faked. We faked it. We faked the quake.
Yeah, so, but it was sick. It looked like an earthquake. And then, like, the next day, the sack was sacking.
Yeah, I imagine the sack was doing a lot of jiggling.
But it was on the other
ceiling.
side of the giant wooden crossbeam that would have stabilized it. It wouldn't have been flexing as much there.
That's right. See, Sam's checked out already. Look at him. He really
I don't give a
hates,
crap about the sack.
He can't care less about the holy
I'm
sack.
like, you guys have told the whole story.
He's heard it so many times. We've been fucking looping around on this for so long.
Yeah, the moment Sam starts hearing a story for a second time, he's like, I'm not here.
No, it's just that so many details. Like, why was like, who sent the sack? What was it like when you first touched it? Like,
this is what they tune in for. They tune in for the details on the sack.
Tell me about the moment you forgot the
Praise
sack
be.
existed and then remembered it.
Praise be the sack.
Praise be.
And keep it holy and high.
I still want to see these new Google things that are coming out, because I want to dunk on them for a little bit.
Hell yeah, dunk it.
Should we get into that? Because
Yeah.
I kind of want to talk about earthquake.
Still want to talk about
Oh
earthquakes?
yeah.
Well, just
he did a nice little segue. Look at him.
Okay,
He was planning this.
Put in the work. You segued us out of the sack
did, he
story.
did.
So yeah, we can all appreciate that.
Yeah.
Let's reward you by talking about the subject. No.
Yeah,
Okay,
earthquake
I'll
video
shut up,
came
I'll shut
out
up.
at the end.
Earthquakes.
Earthquakes.
No, that was
Where do they come from?
that was an interesting
where
video.
are you safe? Nowhere.
We
Absolutely
we
nowhere.
started working on that video in December.
Yeah.
Like we filmed like the intro and like the guys showing up and all that stuff. That was like literally back in December.
Yeah, well, and then Nick was talking to them for like a year and a half before then too. Basically,
It was that video was a long time coming, and then like we get into this year, and it's like they had to spend a bunch of time getting those simulations working and all that, and then like it just kind of kept falling out of the schedule. Like we had schedule like problems with video releases
which
and
is
whatnot,
so silly
and,
because
and sponsors on videos.
in retrospect, I'm like, what? Why did we wait so long? It was so harrowing and messed up.
It wasn't that we had to wait so long. I mean, we didn't choose to wait so long.
I know.
We had other priorities.
I know.
And it just kind of fell to the wayside because it's like, oh, this video's got a sponsor on it. Bamboo. This has to come out in the next 2 weeks.
Boo. It's like
stuff
getting
like
hit
that.
on Halloween. Sorry, I forgot you.
Boo.
Bam. Boo.
That's a slow burn. That's good.
Wow.
The point is this is so stupid. It's damn it. All right.
Anyway,
earthquake.
all my point
Earthquakes.
is that was a video that we've been working on for like half a year, off and on, and then finally it was like, all right, now we're finally getting this thing made, and it's finally like done and out there. So it's nice to actually have that video
It
finally
was
be done.
messed up. That video was messed up. Like that video freaked me out.
Yeah, it's freaky.
I don't know how you guys felt about that.
Super freaky. Yeah, but
it's
but
like, oh
educational
yeah, if
too.
the big
and
one actually does hit,
Yeah.
we're it might be a bad
important
time.
to talk about. It's
But,
kind
I mean,
of
you don't want to be inside during the world's biggest earthquake ever.
Yeah.
you don't want something to be over on top of you.
Uh-huh.
In tree, building,
Yeah.
street post, street lamp.
Basically anywhere in the vicinity of the city we live in.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
If the hugest earthquake ever hits, you just don't want to be here.
Don't
Anywhere.
be around. Just don't be around.
You want to be in the air.
You want to be
Yeah.
in the air.
Yeah.
Yes.
on a
Be on a
plane.
helicopter.
Bungee jump. No, that's attached to a bridge. Parachuting.
Parachuting.
You wanna
But then
be-
you're landing into an earthquake.
You want to try and like schedule that your first tandem skydiving lesson.
Schedule it for the earthquake.
Yeah. It was really hard to watch that, like the studio like crumbling apart. I was like, it was really anxiety inducing. Because like at first it was like kind of fun, and then you're like, oh my god, like yo, this is really effed up.
Yeah.
And it's not even just like imagining being in that situation. It's just like seeing a place you're so intimately familiar with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Being destroyed in such graphic detail.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like,
Also being in the place while it's
I
happening.
mean, sure,
to
yeah,
you.
that
Yeah.
part too.
The immersive experience of it was kind of freaky. Yeah.
Yeah, it was freaky. I mean, it was nice actually kind of then after it was all said and done having the knowledge, which is, I guess that's the point,
Yeah.
scared straight, so to speak.
100%.
We're like, all right, here we go. What are we actually taking out of this? And yeah, obviously, yeah, roofs are bad for earthquakes, but arches, parabolas,
Yeah.
parabolic curves are a good thing. Like the arched vaulted ceilings and stuff are stronger. So there are takeaways.
Yeah.
No, I learned a lot. I mean, I'm a Florida man, so hurricanes are that's what we have to worry about. There is no earthquakes, so like
no earthquake.
experiencing that for the first time, a big one here in the studio.
So because earthquakes, the ceilings are scary, but in hurricanes, the walls,
The walls and trees more than anything. Big trees are terrifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I didn't know what to do on the first big earthquake experience. It was like I was just literally stunned for a second. I was halfway in, under, and out of a desk because I didn't know if I should stay there or leave.
That's so funny.
So like, yeah, I mean, it's important. It's good to know. Like,
I feel like I've said this earthquake story before, but the biggest earthquake I ever felt, it was the one about like 6 years ago. It was like early July 2019, and I think it was up in Palmdale or Lancaster, but it was a 7-point-something earthquake. It was a huge one.
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing videos of like pools, like all the water getting sloshed out.
It's crazy.
And I was working late on a video. I think it was like a weekend thing, but I was here in the studio. No one else was. I was alone. And I'm working on a video. It was like the scale of 1 billion, I think. And the earthquake hits. I'm like, whoa. And I look over, and the guillotine is set up there. Our 1-to-1 scale, 10-foot tall guillotine. And it's literally shaking back and forth. like
Oh my
Fortunately,
god!
the blade was at the bottom. It wasn't like up in the air, but the blade is still like 3 feet off the ground, and the whole thing is just shaking back and forth. I'm literally looking at it, sitting next to it, going, "Oh, oh boy!" And it lasted like, I don't know, 10 seconds. It lasted just long enough where I was like, "Should I get out my phone?" And it's still going. It's like, I should get out my phone. It's like, it's still going. Okay, yeah. And right as I pull my phone out, it stops. It's like, oh,
Good lord.
okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was a little while. It was
It's
like
freaky.
that was really intense, and that was also we'd gotten a few earthquakes in a couple days there.
Yeah.
Because I'd gotten an earthquake like the day before at my house. I remember hearing like our shower door, like our glass shower doors rattling and whatnot. Yeah, earthquakes, man.
Yeah, I mean, so
In my experience, earthquakes are fun,
Yeah. Fun time.
they can be. Yeah.
Yeah.
but I've never experienced a bad situation. So
Bad situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like I only experienced like one really really bad earthquake, and that was like when I was like 3 basically.
Oh yeah.
But it's like one of those like so early. It's super early, but it was so intense that obviously made a big impact. But yeah.
do you remember it?
Oh yeah, I remember everything in very clear detail.
Oh, wow.
Exactly
Really?
what
Wow.
happened and like.
Okay, that's a really early memory.
Yeah, no, it was super crazy. It was
Would
like
that be your earliest memory?
probably, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, but it makes sense why it is because it's
Yeah, yeah.
like so crazy where you're like walking in
It's
your
a
house,
huge one.
and things start shaking, and you literally see all the stuff falling off the shelves.
Oh
and stuff.
my
You're like,
God.
oh my god, and then you're trying to run out of the house. I cut up my feet, and then
You did?
I remember like my feet getting bandaged up, and then someone like parents lowering me into like big cowboy boots to keep my feet safe as we're like
yeah,
walking
yeah.
around.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very crazy and it's like all incredibly vivid.
Wow.
Were you in San Francisco?
Yeah, it was in San Francisco.
Man.
So I forget the earthquake, and I looked it up a while ago, and I was like, oh yeah, no, there was a huge earthquake then. Was it 89 earthquake? Yeah, there's one, the Loma Prieta earthquake, the San Francisco earthquake in 89. I mean, like if you pull up pictures from what happened, it's like you'll be, oh, yeah, that's an earthquake you're gonna remember.
Yeah, sure. Christian just searched 1989.
San Francisco.
He gets
yeah,
Taylor
it's that
Swift
one.
results.
Like go to the image search for it. Just you'll see.
Oh dang, the bridge or the streets collapsed.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Dude,
Ugh.
wait, go back to that picture a moment ago. Whatever you just clicked on. I thought that was here.
Oh my god, it does. It
I
does
thought that
look
was like
that.
around the around the block down
Well, I
the
mean,
street.
it could look like that, but they did improve all the highways after a lot of the stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, some crazy stuff happened there.
Yeah, like Steve was saying,
Jeez.
it was like it was a couple of these quakes were like
Oh my god.
overpasses were going down, buildings were collapsing, that they're like, all right, we actually have to like really officially overhaul the laws requiring building codes to be earthquake proof.
Yeah,
this was
absolutely.
crazy. Yep.
What are you gonna rebuild the whole city every time? Nope.
Yeah, and then we just the Midwest got hit by those tornadoes over the weekend.
Yeah, that was
You
crazy.
see like some of those pictures? The one that
Yeah.
really stood out to me was like it was this house where the whole wall had been taken off, but everything inside of the house was fine. And they're like cleaning up on the second story. And it just looks like you're looking at a cross section of a house because you can clearly see like everything on the bottom floor, everything on the
Kentucky.
second floor. The shelves are like
Kentucky.
that were against the wall are now like ripped
It
off.
happened in Kentucky.
Wow.
Sorry, no, the
that-
shelves were still there, but the wall was gone.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you're seeing like the backside
Oh,
of
wow.
shelves, and like you know, this
Weird.
you put like stuff against the wall on the shelf, and it's like the stuff in the back you're never gonna see again.
Yeah.
But imagine taking the wall off.
Right, right,
On
right.
that backside.
Dude,
It blew up on Reddit. I remember seeing it there.
There's the most crazy video I saw too from the
Jeez.
the
that's
Kentucky
crazy.
tornadoes.
Was it those like garden workers getting in the truck?
The construction guys.
Yeah.
There was like the excavator and stuff.
Yeah. And it was like a tree goes down and crushes the truck, and then a tree goes down and crushes the tractor, and then a tree goes down and crushes the guys inside the truck. It doesn't crush them.
Right.
They ended up being.
It just got closer and closer to them. And
It's
then
a light
started-
squishing.
I wonder if there's a video footage of that shot of that because it's so. If people haven't seen it, it's like, holy crap, that is so. Oh, this one's the St. Louis, Missouri one actually. Here, I'll share it with you, Christian. But oh my God, this one. This
St.
is like
Louis, Missouri.
one of the most intense things I've seen. Like, it's not like crazy
19 dead from that
destruction,
tornado?
but it's just like what a close
What?
call. This is like the
Oh, yeah, this one.
This is the upper limits of
Oh, that's right there.
of your safety. You know, it's like
Yeah.
if it was
The
any
guy
worse.
just got in,
He just
right as like some. Oh my God.
See, this is hurricanes too. This is why like being near big trees and especially like living next to huge oak trees and stuff is like so dangerous.
look at that.
Because those big trees come down and there's nothing you can do about it.
Although being in the excavator cab is probably a pretty safe spot too, I'd say.
Yeah.
Perhaps,
Oh,
but
yeah, that's. Bleh.
Well, I'm just saying, like the excavator cab is, I think, more strongly built than like a truck cab. You know,
it depends. Maybe not that one specifically right there, but like bigger ones for sure.
I'm just saying, like, I think they're generally built with some like level of destruction in mind. You know, like
You're right.
You're doing an
that's
excavator, like a rock tumbles off a cliff and bonks to the roof of it. It's like that versus like the the sheet metal or aluminum or something
That's a good
that's on
point.
the roof of a truck.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Resistant
But
to
like, I think
tornadoes.
what makes a tornado so scary versus like a hurricane, hurricanes obviously are going to have that level of wind for a much larger sustained amount of time, but the tornadoes are sudden. You know, it's like those guys were not expecting a tornado that day.
Well,
They weren't expecting a tornado that minute. Suddenly it was just like, oh, we got to get inside now.
Yeah.
Literally, the guy closed the door at the very beginning of this video. The guy literally closes the door right as like a roof goes flying by.
Angry
Closes
Panda.
it,
Ah, there's
boom,
there's
roof.
the roof.
Yeah,
Or whatever the heck that was.
Angry Panda says that I might be right because he worked at Caterpillar.
Confirmed.
So
No, I mean, I'm.
yeah,
But that's what I'm
But-
saying.
but
is that
that's
like
only-
that's
it's
a
only-
small little,
It's only a
you're right.
mini
It is a mini.
excavator.
It's a baby one.
and it's surrounded by windows, so it's like it's basically just
Yeah.
a little
Wrong
roll
again.
cage,
Yeah,
and whatever the strength of those windows are.
I know, but once again, the truck cab's got windows too.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like
And trucks are also like
I mean-
it's a car, it's a vehicle. They're designed to squish.
Yeah, either way, it's better than being outside.
better than being outside. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a good good video. Yeah,
Very good video. Yeah.
good.
Watch
video.
it if you haven't.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
I mean, I think we just showed them
Yeah.
if they were watching the podcast at least.
Yeah, you don't have to. You know what? Don't do anything. Go outside. As long as it's not, stormy.
Yeah, good times. Oh boy.
Google I/O 2025 keynote in 32 minutes.
Oh, that's
Thank
long.
you, Virgie.
Should we just watch all this real quick?
Uh,
Just rip
Okay,
through this real
so
quick?
I guess to pivot from talking about
Google.
natural phenomena and stuff like that, tornadoes, earthquakes. Speaking of earthquakes, Google.
you know,
Speaking of earthquakes,
remember how like years ago they showed,
you're so good at segues.
Dude, speaking of segues,
speaking about
Google,
segues.
Google, they probably
Google.
have some shares.
Speaking about segues, didn't like the CEO or the owner, the founder of Segway, he like drove a Segway off a cliff or some shit?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he died.
Remember that?
via
Yeah.
Segue. Yeah, yeah.
I know. It's like
That's-
it's
it's a
like
bit of a
Dr.
sad-
Frankenstein getting murdered by his monster.
Yeah. No, it is sort of. It is. All hail the sack.
Yeah.
Segway was ahead of its time.
Indeed, it was.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's these announcements are. I'm trying to like actually like kind of glance through.
The only thing I saw from this Google I/O thing was that they had this person who had the camera open, and Google was constantly looking at what the camera was seeing and correcting her assumptions on what it was. So she pointed it at a light pole, and she's like, "Why is this skinny building in my neighborhood?" And the chatbot was like, "Actually, that's a light pole." And then it was like, "Why is this company delivering packages on my lawn?" It's like, "Actually, that's a utility box," and various other things. I don't know. I saw that on social media, so I don't know if that was real or a parody. But it was kind of funny.
Okay, that guy has a propeller cap. That's ridiculous.
There's a guy with a propeller cap in the audience.
There's a guy with a propeller cap in the audience.
Wait, are you serious?
Of a serious
There's no way.
tech.
Go back.
Look at this guy.
There's one guy with a
With this-
propeller cap.
Why does he have a?
What a freaking boss, man.
He's
Oh,
a boss, dude.
hell yeah.
I respect the hell out of him. Good job. Good job on that propeller cap, dude.
So I don't actually know what the main sort of new announcements are from Google I/O, and maybe
Yeah. So
discovering on the podcast isn't perhaps the best.
yeah,
our
maybe
venue
not
for it,
because we
but,
can't really talk about it.
Any of this-
Nico.
any
Oh,
of
what I
this
do know is that Nico loves Gemini
Gemini.
2.5
Gemini.
experimental.
Yeah,
as far as
we've
like
been you
coding
playing around with
AI.
Cursor, and it's really good.
I
It's-
finally got into Cursor yesterday.
Yeah.
But I realized I don't actually have anything I currently want to make, so
Okay.
it was like immediately stuck.
You go down to 18 minutes for VO3. I heard that one's
Gemini,
pretty
man.
sweet. Check this one out.
Oh, he's heard.
This is
he's
what
heard tell.
we made this video a while back, right? So this Nico did this with the video to audio.
Oh yeah.
So now they're integrating that too with their videos. I wonder if it's gonna sound. Oh no, it's gonna sound okay because it's a Keynote. Dang, it's not gonna be janky, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't show off a janky version.
Oh god,
But
look at this. Oh, this is so cringe.
So it's generating the video and the audio simultaneously with the same model. That's the main thing
Yeah.
here.
Pretty cool, right? Video added not just the sounds of the chorus, but also the dialogue.
That's so cringy.
Force, a wild, untamed might.
Splash.
With every breaking light.
Starting today,
It's kind of crazy though. It's a little freaky.
God, it's kind of weird and cringy.
we recently launched Nearing the Tube.
Past it.
What's up?
What's up, Nico?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah, of
got you
course we-
covered.
Sorry,
You can come in too.
Of course we definitely pit.
Yeah.
Nico
Oh,
was super late today,
Hold
so
on,
we just
we're
filled in
starting
his
the podcast.
spot.
All right, we're just
Sorry,
Last
guys.
time I was super late for the podcast. You guys just got someone else in too, so
Yeah.
Did you guys light incense in the office?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was cat pee.
No.
no, that's
Wow, that's a.
nonsense.
Those are two very
Someone
different
wearing
things.
cologne? Yes. Smells like cat piss.
Alright, that's my gentleman.
All right.
There's vinegar around
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
fly traps. That's probably
cool.
what he's smelling.
Guys?
There's a lot of
chat,
flies.
Hit us up. What else is cool about this?
What
What are we
Aronofsky?
missing? Google Flow.
Is using
Which one is that?
AI?
Google
What?
Flow.
I don't care.
I just read
Do
it.
I care? Let's
read it.
find out.
Oh, great.
No,
So they're eating themselves from the inside. Hollywood. So we got VO.
Flow.
Launching today. Let's drop into a project I'm working on. Our hero, the grandpa, is building a flying
Our
car
hero, the grandpa.
from a feathered friend.
Okay, from a feathered friend.
The old man and his car. We make it easy to upload
Oh, this is just Runway Gen 4.
using a magic, which is built right in.
Yeah.
Are they saying-
everyone can do this? You can do this for free in Comfy UI.
Are they making this specifically for storyboards?
It's called
though?
add-ons. You could. Yeah.
Like filmmaking tool?
It's a quote
Yeah.
unquote filmmaking tool. Yeah, this is nothing new.
Well, the new part is that it's Google now doing it.
Now Google has done
This
it.
time,
Someone in Google is running the Comfy UI
thank
finally.
God I can have my chickens, my giant
what a
chickens,
shot.
drive off the Grand Canyon.
Trim it up, dude.
Flow works in the other direction.
Flow works in the other direction? What does that even mean?
It works backwards for you.
Once I've got all the clips I need, I can download the files.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all pretty basic stuff, and I don't know why they're like making a big deal out of it.
For creators, flow video.
They're acting like they just figured this out, but this has been
That's the MO of every company doing a keynote. Apple never invents
Yeah.
anything, and yet they always kind of show it from the perspective
It's-
of like, this is the first time you're ever seeing
Yeah,
it.
it's just like we do it better kind of thing.
Look at this is
Oh,
so
sick!
cringy.
It flies now.
This is so cringy that this is
Fixed it.
Google showing this off. It's
the
like
big chicken. It
Dude,
flies
everyone's
now.
clapping,
The
dude.
big-
Everyone's
the
going
most-
crazy.
It's like, look, we made it. So it's like, or you could just generate that video file like 10 times until it works, and eventually
Yeah.
goes. Oh God, this is so cringy.
Well, how is it cringy?
It's just cringy. Well, it's cringy because this is a free, basically like a tool that you can do for free right now.
Isn't it free on Google?
I don't know, but I mean, you can run locally. That's what I mean. Like there's ways to do this stuff locally already. Also, Runway Gen 4 has been they've been doing this for I think like well maybe 4 weeks. It's not a huge difference of time, but it's been out for a month. It's not like brand new stuff. I mean, if you're doing a keynote, you should be like, here's something that's like unique to what we're doing. I feel like not this. Also, lastly, it's just fully AI generated video.
Yeah,
and that's really cringy.
When it's video, I don't really see a point in storyboards because it's like that you can't technically control the camera exactly how you want it to go anyway. So you're gonna have to like I don't really see like a value in it for storyboards right now unless you can control every aspect of the camera movement and what's happening in the video.
No, it's really great for stock footage. I guess.
Sure,
I
yeah.
think that's basically it.
Yeah.
It's like library footage, stock footage. Yeah, all right. Well, That's
so
fine.
maybe not.
I wonder if, well, because like remember when it was a keynote a few years ago? They're like, oh, check out this. We're gonna have an AI assistant call places for you, and like book
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
do appointments. And I was like, that's sweet. Where did that go? Like, why don't we have that? Like, I want that.
Why don't we?
Like, I don't want this chicken video crap. Like, no one's gonna use.
It's
like,
true. No,
I mean,
you're
no,
right.
people are gonna use it.
I mean, sure, people are gonna use it, but no one making anything worth watching is gonna use it.
I think it's just companies see it as the flashiest like way to advertise their, you know,
I mean,
models.
yeah. Never say never is kind of how I'm feeling about that. It's like I'm willing to bet there's gonna be lots of people who will just use it because it's like I need, like, there's that shot of the audio video we did a while back, and I say a while back, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
And Jalen said the Norwegian board.
Norwegian board.
And Dean generated the whole like little video shot of like a Ouija board that said like, I forget, did it say Norwegian board on it?
It said Norwegian board.
Yeah, and it's like now maybe Google Flow can do that.
Yeah.
And you don't
Save-
have to know how to use Comfy UI. I'm just you know,
Yeah.
I'm just speaking from like the standpoint of someone who wants to just get B-roll real quick for a funny little joke someone said.
Yeah, I mean, sure, that works. Yeah, I guess like a little kind of throwaway joke shot.
And it's like you're an editor and you don't know how to use all these advanced AI tools, but like
Yeah.
you have access to Google and
DJ
you can just
Fallen-
type in
oh,
some
that's
things and
crazy.
suddenly
They're making it for their audience, 7 to 10 year olds.
Damn.
Google for kids.
Shit.
Wow. Yeah. Boy.
Kinda weird.
But yeah, AI video keeps evolving. It might be time to do another debunking.
Debunk Google.
I think it is time because we've
Google's
collected.
Keynote.
There's definitely a lot of us here at the office have collected a lot of strange videos on the internet.
Strange videos.
Strange AI.
The amount of people
slop.
that are fooled by obviously fake AI is crazy. If
Is
it was
that true?
obviously fake, then
People won't be.
the
fooled
amount of
with it.
people wouldn't have been that
No, but
high.
even still, it's still out there.
It's
Yeah.
just like
It's yeah. Well, see, I guess this comes back to that full circle thing, though, where it's like the inspiration tab stuff. This is like the path that they're on right now.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's so gross about this stuff. It's the idea that it's not actually being framed for inspiration, but for a replacement for you having to do any labor at all, even like the easy labor, which is just coming up with an idea. Like coming up with once again, if we're talking about
that's the unfortunate part.
the monotony, AI being
Yeah.
good at doing the monotonous tasks is suddenly coming up with an idea for a video monotonous. You know, it's
Right.
like, hold on,
Yeah.
this is the priorities are backwards.
Yeah.
So now that Google has this technique here, this new stuff with an AI video crap, it's like what's stopping them from just slapping that feature in the inspiration tab now too? It's like, oh, why bother why bother having you make the video anymore too? We'll come up with the idea and the thumbnail, and heck, you can just like mess around and click here until the video's done. You know,
Yeah.
like we'll make it for you.
We'll
too.
make the video. You don't even have to upload it because it's already uploaded.
I know, and that's why.
All you have to do is hit publish.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
Content button.
there's lots of like there's quote unquote gray areas, you know, shades of gray.
Yeah.
Obviously in this conversation, but if we're gonna summarize it, that's why you go inspiration tab bad, like Google bad, like that's not, it's not because it's not good.
I think what it comes down to is that it's not necessarily AI is bad, it's that slop is bad. Low effort is bad.
Exactly, low effort is bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you said, you know, it's the content button. Don't hit the content button.
if you hit
like
the
actually think before you hit it, right? At the very least,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and yeah, so there's just a level of like you can't have any tool replace creativity, and you know, I don't think it will.
Yeah.
So on
As
on
an
that,
optimistic side.
it is a little funny. So that you know, we're at like a caliber of YouTube creator that like we put out a video like the inspiration tab, and suddenly the product team behind the inspiration tab immediately hits us up, being like,
yes.
"Hey,
I guess
saw the
that's a
video.
good
We want to
show.
chat with you guys."
Sam, we lost your micro. Can you there it is. It's back.
There.
You
All
gotta
right,
spank it.
I gotta chill with dunking on Google because we have to talk to them now. And if you-
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, because they hit us up
They
after
did
the
say
inspiration
that.
tab video, and they're like,
Can we just talk?
great video, guys.
We have notes.
Actually, I don't want to do sarcastic reading of the email.
Yeah.
No, it's
But
it's
even they said they would be thrilled to talk to us about the feature, and I just thought that was so funny because it's like I know they're being very polite, and I get they're being cordial, and I get they don't have personal beef with us, and we don't have personal beef with them either. But it was so funny making a video that it's in the realm of dunking a little bit, and then they come back being like, "Yeah, let's get to it. Let's hang out."
I mean, it's the same thing when we did the debunking video and called out Storyblocks.
Yeah.
And,
true. Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, Storyblocks is uploading AI videos. And then we get an email from me like, we already deleted that account. We would like to talk with you further about. And it's like, oh, we just called them out and they want to talk with us. And we had the conversation. And they were all cool about it. Thank you so much for calling us out about it. We want to be on top of this.
I think they just want the feedback.
I agree with that.
We're just not prepared. And I would love to give them feedback because it's like,
they just want feedback.
There could be useful stuff, but it's like, just don't go down that damn path of like making a tab where you just create the videos there. Like, that's bad. Yeah. That's bad, man. That's the slop bucket. That's not the slop. No, it's the slop tube.
The slop tube.
The hose.
Welcome to slop tube.
Yeah.
Home of
it's like the
not
slurry.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did they have AI write the email to you?
I don't know. You press tab enough times in Gmail, it'll finish it for you.
Yeah.
You don't even need to think of an idea. Just use like H. Hi. Oh, hello, tab. Yeah.
What if Action VFX starts selling AI-generated VFX elements?
I doubt they will do that. I highly doubt they will sell AI-generated VFX elements.
I'm not fundamentally opposed to it as long as it's curated and the elements are good. It's the slop thing, right? It's like you can generate all kinds of stuff, but as long as it's not slop and it's usable, what's the big deal?
What is slop?
Just like
how
careless generation.
How
just
little effort? How little effort do you have to put into something, for it to turn into slop?
I think it is a level of scrutiny that you as a creator put in your content as if it is something that's created by you, right? Like it's something that you are screening at every micro detail until it becomes something that, hey, I would actually have made this.
Yeah.
Right? And
that's
anything less than that,
slop.
that's the definition of anything less than that is slop. That's the bucket. Yeah.
Yeah.
the goo at the bottom,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, first pass attempts, V1s and
that's
that
right.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's slop. But it's like, I don't know, it's like we used AI to do some anime films, and it's like that was not slop. That was very intentional and used as a tool, and we generated things. But when I see like AI being used in that sort of way, I see it more as a rendering engine than as an AI type thing, So it's but if somehow again, I'm speaking on behalf of Action VFX. They're not saying anything about this.
Totally.
To be clear, I'm just speculating, hypothetical. But like, what if they get some sort of good model and they're able to generate very specific? All right, a little smoke element of like the smoke puff, like that's flowing upwards at a pretty good rate, and they can make that go for 10 straight minutes and. Now that's just part of because they're already a subscription service.
Yeah, better
and
yet.
as long as it's good quality and it's got a good alpha channel, and you're not and you can't tell that it's not real smoke. That's a different story than just like, oh yeah, and you can now just like generate your own fire elements.
Yeah.
Well, I do see that, and that's like the next thing is like true online VFX compositing, where it's like, oh, the muzzle flash didn't light up your subjects, or you have a stock smoke element and a plane flies through it and it didn't move. It's like I could see that easily being the next thing right now when it comes to AI video stuff. Where you're like, here's the smoke plume, or here's the muzzle flash, or this guy's shooting, and it just goes, okay, and it just literally takes your footage and just adds muzzle flash and lighting throughout on top of your footage, basically.
Yeah. I also see a version of like being able to randomize assets. Like say you have a bunch of blood spatters, right? Mm-hmm. And you can then generate extra blood spatters that are varying and always different, right?
Like there's a lot of ways that you could do this without necessarily, it's like AI enhancement onto video without necessarily having to generate either the stock elements or the video itself. Yeah. But like there's already tools to basically blend stuff. I mean, even that relighting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That like, we're messing with.
Yeah. I think you're right though, because it's like basically through all this AI gen stuff is that like we're getting more and more control over what we're able to accomplish.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Pika Labs edition stuff that we're saying, hey, put this little guy in your scene, which is now everyone's doing that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's once again the same thing where it's just like, look, here's my smoke plume asset. Here's where I want it in the scene. Take over, and then redoes your shot with that the asset there.
Totally.
Yeah,
Perfectly composited.
Yeah, AI compositing is going to be powerful, dangerous.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's like, at what point is that going to be a thing where it's like you have your video and it's like, you can say put fire. You can type out put fire in the shot. Well, that's not very much control. I'm interested in the point where it's like incorporated into some sort of software where it's like you select with like a selection tool like the window and make that just be on fire, or make fire be outside the window, and it'll not only like put fire outside the window but actually have the glow affecting the interior of the room or whatnot. And then you can move on to the next cut in your edit and you're not actually worrying about the visual effects. That's I think really going to rapidly sort of change the visual effects industry in a very short amount of time, more than it already is, but we're not there yet. And Killjosh Petrino also said, he asked, when do you see AI being able to create professional level video content, aka high res, wide color gamut?
No idea. No idea.
Soon, because a friend of ours, I'm not going to say who on camera, but he started a company that's basically working on exactly that. Like, why can't you just get AI generated HDR from a video file, or like take a 8-bit video file and suddenly make it a 16-bit or 12-bit or whatever, like color space, and like literally just regenerate all of the colors and the gamut of the colors and all that stuff. We already have up-resing of video. We've had that for a few years now. It's gotten really good.
Yeah.
That sort of thing is going to start evolving as more and more industry type use cases become more in demand.
Totally.
Right now, it's all just Wild West. Wild West.
Wild West, and some Wild Waste too. There's all that.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's man. Every time we talk about this, I always end up going full circle. Like, that's cool. It's like, honestly, the coolest thing is really just going to be like no VFX anymore.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to be really cool, it's like, no, it's like the jankiest, the most amateur stuff is going to be like so precious.
To a degree, I feel like this is kind of mimicking the last like 10 or 20 years of people's feeling towards cinema in general, because it's like it's starting to, it's always coming back to it's all about the idea.
Yeah.
Because over the last 20 years, visual effects and CGI has become more and more prevalent to the point that like viewers don't really care about it anymore.
Well, but you know what? Do they? Because honestly, I think they do. I think everyone subconsciously cares a ton. Like, when you add visual effects into a piece, like from 2008 to the present, basically, every blockbuster film that has tons of CGI that, just there's a million of them. What is it? Jurassic Park.
I
Apes.
I guess what I'm
go
getting
all the way
at.
to 2012, or you go to like those weirder ones, like remember like Clash of the Titans.
Hell yeah.
Like those weird crazy ones where it's just like
3D.
big CG creatures, or even like that one Amazon flop that had like Chris Pratt in it, the Tomorrow War.
Sure, yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, we're already at the point of like full CGI saturation. And the problem with it is you watch it and you're like, either this is the coolest thing I've ever seen, or it has no impact at all.
I guess what I'm getting at is the value of visuals is decreasing rapidly, and now with the advent of like literally anyone can make anything, it's even going more down. No one cares, or rather, the value of the fact that you have a really cool CGI set piece used to be a big deal. Like, wow, you can do that. That's so crazy.
Exactly.
That made this whole viewing experience really awesome. And now it's like,
well, but
diminished returns, and so the value of that being there at all is now less.
So, but I think
goes back to just it has to be a good idea.
But I think it resonates on a deeper level, because when people talk about like VFX not being as good as practical, like I've thought about this a lot, and like realistically, it's because you're just not believing that a moment you're not able to suspend your disbelief.
Yeah.
And the moment it's like something's like clearly CGI, you're like, well, nothing even happened. Versus like some practical blood and a puppet on set, at least you go, that's actually happening. Like what I'm seeing actually happened, and it's just in a different way. It's like, it's not like, okay, that's actually like a real bug that's getting squished. It's like, no, it's like a puppet, and there's some fake blood getting squished, but like it happened. It still happened. It's just,
Sure.
it's fake
It's
in a
tangible.
different. It's tangible and fake in a different way.
And really, it just, like,
And so-
I think you nailed it, Sam. It's like it comes down to as long as the viewer is able to suspend their disbelief.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Exactly.
I think that's why.
Literally all that matters.
So that's the problem with most of this stuff is that in this world now where we are at full VFX saturation, to now suddenly just like peel that final layer of film off of everything and be like, no, like the whole damn thing is CG. There's nothing was real at all that you saw. It's like, well, hold on, like what's worth, like how can you suspend your disbelief if you're gonna if you know that nothing ever even transpired in this video that you're watching, the actor in that clip of the car going off the thing with the chick, and you're like, that guy's not even real. No one filmed this.
Yeah.
This is like, hold on, like how can you even watch a single line of dialogue and believe that? So
It's like in
Yeah.
the Fast and the Furious movies, It's like there's that one movie in later series where he drives off the dam and is now like riding down the wall of the dam, and it's like I cannot suspend my disbelief for that. It's all just so over the top. I'm just like, I whatever, right? Whereas a few movies earlier, maybe it was the fourth one, when they're like they get up to the train and the train's coming up to the bridge and they're on, it's like Dom and the other guy, Paul Walker, on the car, and they end up having to drive off the cliff, and there's that shot from like the dashboard where they're both on the back and they both jump off the car, and it's so visceral.
Yeah.
And I know it was faked, but it felt real, it felt tangible, and it felt more exciting because of it.
Well, on the other end of that too, that vault stealing scene when they're dragging that
Yeah.
huge vault, that's a lot of that's practical. And some of it is, and so it feels real though because it's so tangible. Like it's so, what a vault is, how like heavy it is.
Most of that whole sequence was fully CG though.
Right.
But it had a baseline of some real
but
stuff.
Even still, like sure, the Fast and Furious movies are actually, I think, great examples for this because like my experience, this is personal, but my experience is you watch it and you're like, okay, they're gonna talk, and so you basically tune out. And you're like, okay, I'm literally waiting until you got something cool to show me, and then boom, the action scene starts, and you're like, all right, here we go. Let's see if you can suck me into this. Like, I want to see if I can I want to see something fun and unexpected and crazy and like cool. And so then I let go. Like, okay, I forget for a moment that I don't actually like this movie. Okay, it's like, this is gonna be sweet. Like, what do you got to show me? And so it's even in that damn scene, like watching that
damn scene,
or those other scenes. They're ridiculous, but you can still find. I do still think you can find creativity in that kind of VFX.
Can you find creativity?
spectacle.
100%.
Yeah. I don't know. There's that nuance there.
It comes down to whether or not you care.
Yeah,
exactly. And I think there's ways to make people care if it looks so dang cool. Like even like once again, like Paul Chadison's Solstice CGI shorts. You remember that? Mm-hmm. Floating things like this. This is all CGI.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, can he creatively show it to us in a way that like
allows you to buy in.
Gives us a
You gotta
new
be able to buy in.
experience?
Yeah.
Like you're like, wow, I have never visually considered that before.
Yeah.
And so that's why.
And then you have stuff like Kung Fury where you just like, it's so over the top that you're like, I don't even care that I'm not suspending my disbelief here. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Well, it also plays on tropes and expectation too is such a big part of it.
That is a good point.
Because every time the scene starts, you're like, oh, character archetypes, expectation, cool, and then like it goes to such an extreme level that you're like, wow, how do we? This is crazy. Like I did not expect you would take it this far, and that's why it works too. It's so. Yeah, I don't know. So it's like, once again, it's not. So yeah, VFX does ruin stuff if used improperly.
Totally.
There's the expectations thing, I guess. But
Codename Orion says AI tools feel bad for people who have walked the path of learning the tools. Taking the path out of the journey feels unearned. Beware of unearned wisdom. But that comes back to your journey that you just went through, which is you spent years learning Unreal Engine, and now you can basically achieve the same final product with significantly less effort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you've earned that wisdom. How do you feel about people who haven't earned that wisdom?
No comment.
Okay.
I don't know. It's like such a hard, nuanced subject to like navigate because it's like it's so easy to say, oh, when you can tell it's CGI, you can't you can't buy into it or you stop caring. But it's
Yeah.
like, hold on,
It's easy to
there's
say that.
plenty of things that are fully CGI that you do care about. But then also at the same time, if we take our AI example of like, okay, an AI generated dialogue shot and we know nothing was real here, it's like, hold on, still once again, plenty of cool fully CGI things. Like I liked I love watching Akira. It's great anime. Watch it. I'll watch it anytime. Great impact.
Yeah, with Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, with Scarlett Johansson.
That one.
Yeah, well, no, but even still, once again,
The
what
live
we're-
action one?
What
Yeah.
we're watching is a cartoon. Sure,
Yeah.
it's not real, but it's still super cool and engaging. So
Yeah.
like, it's so hard to like get a sense. It's like, is it just because a person made the decisions behind it? Maybe that's really it. It's like
Yeah.
it just
I don't
comes
know,
down to did a person make these decisions, but then hold on, a person animated the CG monster in the Thing remake.
Oh yeah, it was Ghost in the Shell, not Akira. I got that
Oh,
totally
you were
wrong.
that wasn't a joke.
But it's okay.
You were
In my head, they were the same thing.
It's
Okay.
like my brain's.
Look, I think
my
honestly,
wires are
just
crossed.
overarching is that good stories told very well resonate with people. So
Yeah.
that's the bottom line, regardless
people
of
can
how you
tell
choose
when-
to tell the story or what medium or
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it's like as much as I want to come up with like a hard line rule with talking about like why full AI gen stuff is bad. It's like, well, hold on. There is a possibility of someone making something good with it. It just seems incredibly unlikely.
right
But
now.
then again,
maybe.
Then isn't that just also the challenge everyone faces? That like anyone can pick up a camera and film a video, and it being very good is unlikely. I don't know. Maybe it works all ways.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, guys.
Yeah, we can talk about this.
We talk about this
Forever.
forever.
Time.
So
Totally
that's
forever.
the note. So where do you guys stand on? No, never mind.
I'm going to say right now.
No, we're not going to segue there. Okay.
I'll say this right now. I think you guys are watching Fast and Furious movies wrong. If you're not enjoying the dialogue, my favorite part about the movies.
Man, I feel so bad. You're right.
I haven't even
offended
watched
you.
the last few.
Come on, The Rock in a scene in the Fast and Furious franchise goes, "Daddy's got to go to work," and then breaks the cast that he had off of his arm.
Daddy's got to go.
Daddy's got to go to work.
Daddy has got to go to work.
Come on, these one-liners, you can't get them anywhere else.
I'm not into that one liner.
It's all about family. It's all
That's
about
not
family.
my
Matt,
vibe.
Well, there
I-
you go. We'll see. There you go. It's
You've-
for a certain
yeah.
audience. Yeah,
Grand Gauge
This-
244 says FNF sucks ass.
it's the same
I'm-
audience.
I'm on-
Evanescence?
in the same audience.
Oh,
that's-
FNF. I heard Evanescence.
Matt,
It's the same
No,
people that
yeah.
scream laugh at Megalopolis.
no, you're right. Matt, as someone,
that intentionally want to watch Megalopolis.
Matt, as someone who went on the Fast and Furious ride at Universal
Oh, hell yeah,
with
brother.
you twice in a row.
We did do it twice. We had to do it twice for the video.
As someone who's gone on that ride
Too
with you
many times.
back to back. Back to back. Since we went on that ride back to back. You're right. We share
You're
a
like,
special
wanna-
bond on Fast and Furious.
Yeah, we looked at each other. We were like, "Want to do it again?"
Yeah, we're like, that was cool. All right.
There's no line. Let's go
That
back
ride
again.
is awful. I love it.
It's hilarious.
I think that ride was pretty sick.
It's sick.
A little loud, but
It's sick. It's so loud.
A little loud.
better on the second time.
It's better this time. Trust me.
Most people don't do it the second time. That's
Trust
what they're
me.
missing out on.
Trust me.
All right, I think we're entering after show
right,
territory.
guys.
All right, guys. Thanks
All
for
right,
tuning in, everyone.
Thank
We'll
you.
be here again next week.
Yeah, and you two
And-
come join us on Corridor.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for watching.
Peace out.
Peace out,
Bye.
YouTube.
3, 2, 1.